Hey guys, Trainer Toll here. First off, thank you so much. We have crossed the 200 subscriber threshold. I could not be more grateful. All the feedback and the comments and everything. Just thank you guys. Keep asking questions, and we'll keep doing our best to answer them and put out the best guides that we can. Today's video is not for the faint of heart. This is hardcore. I'm sore myself from attempting this. And I only did it for about 2 hours. So no joke, over 100,000 experience gained in just over 2 hours. You can easily get 50, 60,000 experience in an hour. Not to mention get a ton of ultra balls, great balls, potions. Not for the faint of heart. So let's dive in. This strategy is called Jimmy's Loop, and specifically, it's something that you do at the Austin State Capitol, Texas Capitol here in Austin. It's not something you can recreate anywhere. It's not something, there are here in San Antonio, around the Alamo, including behind the Alamo. It's pretty condensed, but not as condensed as you can see here. 3 spots, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, and an 8th. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That loop and that cycle is what you're doing. That's it. So the other Pokestops here, the other ones even that have a lure up, in this screenshot there's a couple that had expired, but believe me, within moments they were back up and running. The reason that this works is because by the time you get to the 8th Pokestop, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in that tri-lure area have all repopulated and gone to be blue again. So this is something that takes about 5.5, 6 minutes to walk at a pretty hefty pace. I mean, no joke. It was my legs were stiff. We walk a lot with this game, and no joke. It was a trek. So you start out of the tri-lure, you go up the long path towards the state capitol, you make the loop around, you walk along short way, you make the right, you make the curve again, and you start all over. And the idea is that's all you do. And I heard people that were hanging out with Jimmy that came up with this process, and they were saying, hey, let's go check out this rare spawn. And he's like, just keep working the loop. And that's it. It's all about consistency. It's a grind. And I understand that's not fun for some people. I understand that's not what people want to do a lot of the cases. But I come from a pretty heavy MMO background where we're trying to get the most experience, the most progress we can in the shortest amount of time. And so you stick to the loop, you stick to the path, and you focus on getting the ABC. Always be catching. Spin every Pokestop every time it's up. You want to make sure you're not moving too fast so that you're hitting ones you've already hit. But we were catching Eevees, Pidgeys, Rattatas, Caterpies, Weedles. A bunch of Pincers were popping up. A bunch of Pikachus were popping up. A bunch of Bulbasaur. A couple Charmander. Like, there was a bunch of stuff that was popping up. But it's just everything we get. Curveball, throw, curveball, throw, curveball, throw. And that's it. And move on. And so we caught so many things and we spun so many Pokestops that we were gaining. You have to use 2 lucky eggs. It's not something you can just do. You're getting about half the progress if you don't have a lucky egg on. But we were getting about 50 to 60,000 experience per hour. And in that 2 hour span, I went from about 230 or 225,000 into my 32 level up to 332,000, something like that. So like 107,000 XP in right around 2 hours. That is, I've gotten 100,000 in a day before, but no joke, 2 hours. And so I think I'm going to go back and see if I can finish, maybe 200,000 in a 4 or 5 hour span and hike it out. Like, for me, setting aside a day where I'm going to go put a bunch of hours into it, that frees me up another day to not play the game at all or not grind and not try to get up there. And there's certainly by no means, so I want to say that that's the only way to play or the right way to play. That's just for me. We're really competitive. There's a lot of people in town that are higher level, and we're kind of competing to see who's got the strongest Pokemon, who's got the highest level, who's achieved what achievements. And so there is a 1%, 5%, whatever you want to call it, section. But the good thing about following and talking to people who are really hardcore is that there's a lot of tactics you can pick up if you are not hardcore yourself, and if you are, this is amazing. I'll be honest. I mean, I have burnt out on the game a little bit. I'm a little disappointed that there hasn't been little bit more content, or maybe a legendary bird released, or Mewtwo coming out, or something. Niantic has had all this time, and they haven't really put out anything from a community standpoint. So it would be it was really nice for me personally to be able to kind of have that excitement of man, I can power level with this, and oh man, I'm going to hit this, and being able to go with the guy Jimmy. This is the guy. Jimmy was the guy doing the 1 million XP attempt in a 24-hour window. He actually got soft banned, which means that every time he threw a Pokeball, the Pokemon would instantly run. He couldn't spin a Pokestop. He couldn't do any of that stuff because the game thought he was a bot. It's not that Niantic came down and did it specifically to him, but he was gaining so much experience so fast that the game said, that's kind of fishy. You're probably a bot, and so it put a soft ban for them to check it out. But he was streaming the whole thing, and there were like 500 people at the state capitol in Austin. So like, no joke, it was totally legit. It's not something that, the guy was, he's level 35 already. Like no joke, he probably would be level 36 if it wasn't for that that glitch, flagging him thinking he was a bot. So you think I'm hardcore and hitting this thing hard, like. Jimmy's definitely one of those people in the game that I learn a lot from, and I really appreciated the chance to chat with him and see kind of his way of doing things. One of the biggest things that he said was that it's important for him to get as many people as possible out to these areas with high dense Pokestops because it spreads the expense of putting up those Pokemon lures. And so if it's just him and he's the only one doing it, he has to pay for every half hour for all 8 of those Pokestops, and that will get incredibly expensive, incredibly fast. So having a lot of people out that can benefit from the same process and can benefit from the same, Pokemon lures, and that way, the expense is being shared that way. It really, really helps to form that community and do that. And so he's all about sharing the information, all about sharing the knowledge, and the more people that are setting up in that area, the cheaper it is for everybody. But again, no joke, you have to have a lucky egg on, otherwise you're cutting your progress in half. But no joke. 100,000 experience in like just over 2 hours. I was totally stoked. And after going the first time, we caught a Grimer on one of the lures there. And this was after I'd gotten my 142 caught, but it was still really cool to see Grimer again because he's so rare. We got a Dragonair there. Like there was some cool stuff happening there too on these lures. So it keeps it interesting and talking to people, having conversations. Like you're hiking, you're moving. He told me the last. We were there the same day, but then he had left before we'd gotten there. He had hiked 12.5 miles just on that loop. And so, he probably hatched quite a few eggs and put on a couple 100,000 experience in that cycle. So I'm looking forward to going back. No joke, 2 hours, 100,000 XP. I'm excited, and I'm excited that something is getting me excited about this game again because this is an opportunity to really put some levels on. So, and it's something that a level 1 could do because you don't have to have a special Pokemon. You don't have, it's just, can you spin Pokestops? Everyone can spin Pokestops. So, very excited. Again, thank you guys for helping me get to 200 subscribers. I think we're at like 207 as I record this, but this is 100% your show. Please continue asking questions and send tweets at TrainerToll. If you head to trainertoll.com, we're going to be doing weekly giveaways. And this week it is the Gyarados and Magikarp pin set. Trainertoll.com. We have a new kind of sweepstakes engine because the previous giveaways we were doing, it was kind of a pain because I had no way to really contact the people that had entered. And so with this new way, you put your email address in, and then if you win, the only reason we're collecting your email address is in case you win. But then it gives you extra entries for subscribing on YouTube or liking the Facebook page, following us on Twitter, things like that. So this week, Gyarados and Magikarp pins, very exciting set, completely sold out at Gen Con. And let me know in the comments your own tips for power leveling and what works for you. And I cannot wait to go back to the state capitol and run Jimmy's loop some more. So thank you, Jimmy, for teaching us that technique, and I'm excited to see what other secrets there are in the game. So thanks, guys.